Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Guy Major and this is Amateur Reports. Amateur Reports is your gameplays with my commentary. Now this is a submission by Ekizoon and he is playing the TN7 British destroyer HMS Lightning. It's a game of capture the base and it's a tier 6 and 7 game. On the friendly team we have Ekizoon and his Lightning, a York, a Kutsov, Wichita in the division with a Scharnhorst, then we have another Scharnhorst, a Jean Bar, an Iowa, and an Iowa. So, as per always, a very battleship heavy game. On the enemy team, we have a Udachi, a Helena, a Chapayev, a Hipper, a Nagato, a Gneisenhower, a Tirpitz, and two Iowas. So, looking at the other team, obviously the Udachi is going to have slightly better concealment than him. The Helena does bring 15 6-inch guns into the situation, so that is something to definitely be concerned about. Chapayev is going to be concerning with her long-range, short-duration Soviet/Russian radar, and then the Hipper with her very good sonar as well. And I guess also it's worth mentioning that the Gneisenhower and Tirpitz do come with torpedoes, and therefore you don't want to be getting too close to them. So here you'll note that Ekizoon has moved. He spawned on the left, he's moved out to the left, and he's at the moment he's proceeding at half speed. He's not racing on ahead in order to hunt something. However, you should note that also just look at the friendly team and the way that everyone who spawned on the left has just turned and ran back to the center, getting spotted. So we obviously know it has to be the Udachi here. Now looking at the positioning of the enemy team, he's actually in a good situation to take this Udachi on. The reason being is the nearest enemy ships, apart from the Udachi, are all behind an island, and therefore they can't actually draw a line of sight onto him. So in a gunfight, he should easily mop up this Udachi, and he's doing a very good job. Those 4.7-inch guns of the Lightning really punching nice and hard. I really love the turrets on the Lightning. It's just always, I always kind of confuse them with the 5.2-inch gun turrets that you get on the secondaries on the KG5 class and the main battery of the Dido class cruisers. The reason being is they look very similar, and I've always got to remember that the destroyers were fitted with a smaller caliber gun within those turrets. So he's dealt a killer blow to the Udachi, getting himself 11,000 damage in first blood, and getting himself 3 fires on that Udachi as well. Very nice, very nice. Now, command-wise, he's got Jellicoe as his commander, level 14, a legendary one, and he's using inspirations as Madden and Sims. And it looks like his traits, he's basically gone straight down the left side. Basically going for all the destroyer traits, but for his legendary skill, he has gone for fully packed, so he is getting himself an additional smoke screen and an additional sonar as well. So looking at the situation, we've got 3 enemy battleships and 1 cruiser here. We've got the Helena, we've got the Tirpitz, we've got a Gneisenhower and an Iowa. And the friendly team looks like they're pretty much getting themselves set up behind a couple of islands, taking advantage of the spotting that Ekizoon is doing here. Now here's a bit risky. We know the Gneisenhower's coming around the island, and if just going off the current detectability of his Lightning, there's always a chance that he's going to end up getting spotted here. It does look like he's going to be within detectability range. So getting one torpedo launcher out and quickly slamming it into reverse and getting one of those micro smoke screens laid. Now losing his second engine module, second time in this game. However, he's able to use that damage control. Always got to remember that the Gneisenhower does have torpedoes, so there's a potential that she has fired torpedoes into your smoke screen, so always to be wary of that. I think with the Lightning, or especially with the British destroyers, don't be too tight-fisted with your sonar. It does last for 3 minutes, so it's always better to use it because it's going to last a good duration. The reload on it, in comparison to its duration, is quite short. Here comes those Gneisenhower torpedoes. So quite a precarious situation we are in this Lightning at the moment. Thankfully there's nothing super scary here, apart from maybe the Helena, although if he gets too close to any of those battleships, it would be very easy for them to hit the lightning very hard. There's the other batch of torpedoes from the Gneisenhower. Getting a torpedo hit on the Ira as well. And judging by that, it looks like that flooding's sticking for some reason. So whether the Ira has already damaged Conda Fire earlier in this game. Now, as Ekizoon says, the Lightning's actually one of his favourite ships, and this is one of 2 submissions that he did actually send in. One thing that he notes is that basically he seems to find that the side with the most gunboat DDs seems to come out the victor, and I guess that kind of makes sense because obviously a gunboat DD is going to make a slightly better spotter than a torpedo boat DD. Because once a gunboat DD's killed the enemy torpedo boats, it pretty much does become a torpedo boat, really. Especially with the British DDs as well, because they're so universal. The Royal Navy is strong with this submission. It looks like the Tirpitz is charging round, and the Iowa. Ooh. Yeah, get that smoke popped, because there's a good possibility they might not know that you're here, because you haven't been detected. And, wow, they're probably being battleship commanders, you know, the ones that literally look only one way down their scope. So they might be very tunnel visioned and not realise there's a smoke screen here. There's the Iowa, there's the Tirpitz. Oh. Oh, go on. Let's punish some tier 7 battleships. It's looking good. It's looking good. Oh. Oh, the Tirpitz. There goes the Iowa. Getting himself liquid there. Let's get that Tirpitz. Nice. Devastating strike. And double strike. Lovely. Getting himself up to 3 kills. 119,000 damage. Thanks to a couple of tunnel vision DDs. This is looking very nice. I'm enjoying this quite a lot. Well, time to get a bit more spotting on. It looks like you've mopped up mostly on this flank. That aircraft's probably going to pick you up though. So there's going to be one question though. We're like, where did that Helena go? Oh. I'll quickly get those guns on. Helena looks like she's distracted. She wasn't expecting you. For some reason, even though the aircraft is up. There we go. Getting rid of the Helena. Nice. Kill number 4. So that just leaves 3 enemy battleships, all of which seem to have found themselves cornered and surrounded at the back of the map. So let's see if we can start picking on this Gneisenhower. Getting ourselves a fire. The guns and the lightning are very nice. I do like them very much. And because the enemy team's mostly spotted by the friendly battleships which are pushing in, it's always a good time to pop on this mini smoke screens and just pile on the paint. Modules wise, for his lightning, he has taken the Concealment mod, the steering gears, and the main battery mod free. That's the one which improves the rate of fire, but it basically makes your turrets turn a bit slower as well. I can see why. The turrets on the Lightning do seem to turn very quickly, so the additional time in turret traverse isn't really affecting his gameplay, getting himself high caliber as he passes 135,000 damage, and improving the rate of fire on the Lightning's guns. It's very tempting actually, because you do come with 6 of them in 3 dual gun turrets. Nice one with the Lightning, as I always like to mention, is that all of the turrets do 360, so at no point should you ever feel the need to sacrifice your DPM, whether you switch in from your port side to starboard side, or vice versa, going forwards or backwards. The front turrets and the rear turrets will keep tracking. It's only really the main bridge area when you pass that. Oh, getting himself another kill and Kraken Unleashed. Very nice. Could we make it kill number 6? 141,000 damage already. Very tempting. These battleships just don't seem to be paying attention. Yeah, so what I was saying, so it's only when your gun turrets need to cross the beam do they actually not lose tracking the target, but they do actually swish all the way around. So It makes the lightning very good at kiting towards and kiting away from an enemy. Now, she does have less torpedoes than the Jervis. She's only got 8 rather than 10. However, those torpedoes that she does come with do have a 10-kilometer range. An Iowa with only like 5,000 health rams a friendly Iowa which has all its health and wipes him out. Oh, I think the enemy Iowa that only had 5,000 health should feel quite chuffed with his efforts there. So that just leaves the Nagato left on the enemy team. So it's, yeah, just kill the last victim. I don't think there's really going to be time to capture the base. I mean, capture the base game modes usually do just turn into deathmatch. With sometimes there being the occasional victory of capturing the base, because I guess it is there as a mechanic, but normally when you see it, it just turns into team deathmatch at the end of the day. Well, this Nagato, which was sulking around behind the island, has now found himself in a massive crossfire, being dunked on by lots of ships. And I have to confess, the rate of fire of the lightning in this submission is very nice. It almost makes me want to, after recording this, go downstairs and boot up the console and take the lightning out myself, while going on to the end screen. So 147,000 damage, 154 hits on target, 8 torpedo hits, 5 floodings, 6 fires and 5 kills, getting himself Liquidator, Kraken Unleashed, Double Strike, First Blood, High Caliber and Devastating Strike. Very well earned Kraken, I have to confess. Going on to the team scores, Ekizoon coming in top of his team, and rightfully so, with almost a 1,000 XP more than the next best player on his team, and the only player in this game who managed to collect himself some lovely pretty ribbons and medals. Now, it's quite interesting when you compare the two teams, and I'd especially like to draw attention to comparing the top 4 players of each team. In Ekizoon's team, which win, the top 4 players, we have a destroyer, 1 battleship and 2 cruisers. When you go to the enemy team, the top 4 players on that team was just battleships. And I think this really showcases how important the support ships are in this game, cruisers and destroyers, and how much of an impact they actually have on the game. If you have people who play them poorly, then obviously you don't do so well, and it's just left to the battleships to do the heavy lifting. Whereas when you have a team where your support ships are working effectively, then you can kind of get away without your battleships as too much. And you can see that the worst players on Ekizoon's team, the bottom 3, are all battleships. So this kind of supports my theory that we need to start trying to move away from top-heavy fleets at the upper tiers, because at the end of the day, if teams that win, it's usually due to the heavy lifting of the support ships rather than the battleships. But your opinion may differ, and that's fine by you, and that's fine by me as well. Going on to the economy screen, we can see that he's managed to earn himself 230,000 credits with premium and 95,000 credits without premium. He doesn't have any credit booster flags equipped, but that ship service cost of 176,000 credits for a tier 7 tech tree ship is obviously quite painful at times if you obviously don't have the greatest of game, or if you don't have any kind of credit booster flags equipped. So I'd always recommend a credit booster flag whenever you play tier 7. Well, if you have enjoyed this submission from Ekizoon, which I very much have, feel free to give the video a thumbs up. This is Amateur Reports. Amateur Reports is basically your gameplay with my commentary. We also do sea trials. I mean, today should have been a sea trial, but when I saw Ekizoon's submission, I couldn't help myself. It had to be an Amateur Report. I didn't want to detract from it in any way by doing tactical overlays. But sea trials is basically very similar, but rather than just talking about what's going on, it's about doing tactical overlays where I have drawings on the screen, and I either showcase what players are doing well, or I showcase where players aren't doing so well. So the nice part about Sea Trials is it's for submissions of not just good gameplays, but even bad gameplays. If you have a bad game and you want to kind of go, oh, what did I do wrong, or what happened in that game, then that's a nice one for Sea Trials, because then we can doodle on the screen and say, oh, you should have maybe turned right here, or maybe popped your sonar on, or look at the minimap and you'll note this and that. So Sea Trials is a nice little learning tool as well, because it shares good gameplay, and also it shows where not so good gameplay can be improved. Also down in the descriptions is the modules used by Ekizoon and the command build used by Ekizoon. There's also a email address should you wish to send in your submissions, along with a link to a video which shows you how to do submissions basically. And there's also a link to Patreon. As you know, the channel is non-monetized. You're never going to see any adverts, you're never going to see any sponsorships. It's completely financed by myself and the patrons, and so if you wish to support the channel in that way, then feel free. It's not mandatory, so don't feel pressured into it, but if you want to, it's there. Well, if you enjoyed this and you're not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. And if you already are a subscriber, let's say thank you very much. And thank you for your continued support, comments, and contributions. Until next time, I'm the Galloping Major, and back to the port.